So we've been trying to conceive for about 1.5 years now. I never thought that getting pregnant would be so hard, especially since the first time it literally happened so quickly. We decided to go to a fertility clinic and get some tests done to figure out why I wasn't getting pregnant. I got my tube dye test done. I think it's called the HSG egg reserve test, and a couple other ones while Hassan got his tests done. I didn't realize how painful the tube dye test would be until they were performing it, and like I was like, can we stop? Like, can we not continue? This is like extremely painful. Like, I can't, my insides, it felt like somebody was literally burning me alive. Like, it hurts so bad. I think it hurt more than like my period pain, and my period pain is like intense. They said if we stop halfway then we'll have to continue another day, so I was like, you know what, like I'm already in pain, why not go through it? I also got cycle monitoring done, which is where they call you in every week for 1 month for an internal and external ultrasound, and they take your blood to measure your hormone levels and just track when you ovulate. So we got our results back, and alhamdulillah, my only remaining tube was clear, meaning there wasn't any endometriosis blockage inside, which we were like really scared for, because if one tube is blocked, we were thinking that the other one would be too, but it wasn't. However, on my test, my egg reserve range was a bit on the low side, and my husband's results weren't that good either. So the doctor gave us some vitamins to take along with the prenatals that I was already taking from after my surgery. I'm taking the prenatals called Pregvit because the other ones have non-halal ingredients inside. My husband was prescribed a couple of supplements. I'm just going to show them up on the screen, and I was prescribed a couple of supplements also on the screen. And then we also decided to add our names to the government funded IVF list. We started taking these supplements for like 3 to 5 months. So I bought some kits from Amazon to track my ovulation days, and I tried my best to remain stress-free. But when you're trying to conceive, it's just really hard not to stress, and everyone's like, oh, don't stress. Even after all of that, nothing really changed for us. There was a point that I stopped doing pregnancy tests because I just didn't want to see like the negative result. It gets hard because like the whole month you've been trying, and then at the end you do the test and it's like a big negative, and then it's like, oh, like everything failed. Like all of the efforts that we were putting in, every single thing failed. So it's just really hard to keep seeing like no. Honestly, there was a point where I tried convincing myself that it didn't matter if I was pregnant or not. But honestly, even if my period was delayed by like a day or two, I would be like crying in happiness, like in the bathroom alone. You try to tell yourself these things, but you know inside that it's not actually true. The only reason I'm kind of like smiling while making this video is because I cope with sadness with smiling, because like if I'm smiling then I'm not sad, but if I frown I'll start like bawling right now. So my fertility doctor said that we just had unexplained fertility. There wasn't really like a reason as to why I wasn't getting pregnant, so we decided that we were gonna go with assisted pregnancy. That would be the best option for us because naturally conceiving wasn't just working out, and I was really scared that my endometriosis would grow and would like ruin my chances of ever getting pregnant. I was really hesitant about IUI or IVF because I was like, if this fails, then like we only have like limited amount of options. Like we don't have like a million options, right? It's only a couple. So if this fails, then we have like one last option of IVF and that's it. So we went for IUI, which is intrauterine insemination, which is where they take a sample from your husband, wash it, and then insert it into your uterus through a speculum. I'm gonna mention this like all on the screen. For this cycle, I had to start taking Letrozole, which is used to grow the egg follicles to a desired size. I started it on day 3 of my period, and on the same day would have an ultrasound. I would take the Letrozole for 5 days and then go in a couple days later for another ultrasound just to see how big like the egg follicles had gone, and a blood test to determine when I was going to ovulate. So they gave me a trigger shot. It's called Ovidril, and you would receive like a message the next day or that day when to take it, because the clinic only stays open for like a certain amount of hours. So after that you can just like be home with it and take it. It's a needle that you have to insert in your tummy, and honestly it doesn't hurt a lot. I know when you hear a needle you're like, oh no, it's gonna hurt, but it's not like one of those needles. I was really scared that we would do it wrong at home because it was just like one shot and that's it. Otherwise your entire cycle is wasted. So like I was reading the instruction manual like 7 times and like I was freaking out over it. It went fine. I was just worrying too much. So my IUI procedure took place the next day. I was given progesterone suppositories to use, and after that we were told to wait a while for the pregnancy blood results to come in. So this was my very first IUI, and somehow I convinced myself that no matter what, the results would be positive, like one and done kind of thing, even though that's not the case with fertility. I somehow foolishly convinced myself that it would be positive, but when the results came back it was negative. It's so dumb because I was the one that convinced myself that it would be positive, even though like I knew that's not the case with fertility procedures. But it came back negative and I was so sad. I cried the entire day. Like I couldn't stop crying. I don't know why I did that to myself, but I was like, it's not happening naturally, so if we get it done through like a procedure, it'll happen on like the first shot. It didn't. I still remember my emotions from that day. I hate crying in front of people, so like imagine me if I was like crying in front of others, you know, like how heartbroken I was. So I feel like a piece of me died that day because all of the negative pregnancy results just came flashing through my mind. I was like, oh no, the IUI failed. We don't have that many options. I felt so hopeless. Like I think like the full hope that I had in this one cycle literally like died out. I was so hopeless. I was like, it's never going to happen. So the next month we did another cycle of IUI, and I was really hopeless, but I was like, we don't have any other options, so let's just try it. This time when they measured the egg follicles, the mature ones were in my right ovary, but since I don't have a right tube anymore, it's just like right ovary, the eggs go into the right tube, left ovary, eggs go into left tube. We had to cancel that cycle. It's just hard because like you're taking all the efforts and stuff and then the cycle gets wasted. It's just like you're like another month gone down the drain kind of thing. So for the second IUI cycle, we decided to just conceive naturally. I took the Letrozole pills. I took the trigger shot. So they told me that I would come in after a few weeks for the pregnancy test result, but we knew it wasn't going to be positive because we were trying on our own. So we did do like a couple of fun things throughout the month because I feel like this entire journey puts like a lot on your mental health. I don't know about men that much, but I know that like I was dying inside. Also, if you guys are also struggling and you see like somebody else getting pregnant or sharing their pregnancy news, don't ever feel envious or jealous of them because you don't know the price they paid to get that happiness. Sometimes you see people not even struggle and have children, but everybody in life does sacrifice something for something. So if you're struggling to have children, somebody could have given birth and then lost their child, or somebody could be having like a bad marriage or something. So it's just like I've always had the mindset that like even if I'm struggling with it, like if I'm not able to have children but somebody else is, or somebody's announcing like their pregnancy in front of me, like I would never ever feel jealous of them because they deserve that. Like God has written that for them, and I'm gonna wait for what God has written for me. So even after all of that, we've decided to go forward with one more round of IUI. We wanted to take a break, but the doctor said that it's better to do one more round, so then after they can look into my chart and see what needs to be changed, like the medication. And I hope everything works out for the better, and if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Otherwise, we're gonna see what options we have after that. Nonetheless, I hope I answered all of your questions, and now you guys know why I was gone for so long. I took YouTube off starting with my mental health, and then after like the entire fertility journey just took so much out of me. So I'll update you guys in the next video whether we're gonna continue with IUI or we're just gonna go straight to IVF. I honestly have not decided yet, so we're still thinking about it. We're gonna see what to do. Also, my reason for making this video was because I've watched like a couple of these fertility videos, and honestly it feels less burdening to see that like somebody else is going through like the same situation as you, even though like you wouldn't wish it upon anyone. But it's just kind of comforting to see that like somebody else is struggling too. Like I'm not the only one going through this hardship. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, you can leave them in the comments below. Or if you're struggling too and you want to share your experience in the comments, you can do that too, because I know I read comments and other people read comments too, so you can kind of benefit them in that way. This video was really hard to make, and I've mentioned this like 7 billion times in this video, but yeah, I don't know where this journey is going to take us, but I hope it takes us to something good. Please keep us in your prayers, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye.